Hey y'all, Mike with Cardboard Kingdom. Welcome back to another Disney Lorcana Market Update video. Today is the 16th of January. Hope you are doing well. Have what should be a quick one here today. Couple things I want to touch on. First and foremost, just a little meme that I thought was incredibly funny, and I thought it was a joke, and it might still be a joke. Maybe I'm getting bamboozled here, but it was worth sharing regardless. So on the main Lorcana page, it says Lorcana Prize. Obviously shows everything that Ed Chu won here over the past week in the NA Championships. Just an amazing display, right? Worth thousands and thousands of dollars. And it says Yu-Gi-Oh Prize, and it's got an air fryer, right? And I thought that was interesting. And I've heard from other Magic players as well as other Yu-Gi-Oh players that the pricing is just not very good whatsoever. And the games are fun, right? People like to play them, but there's nothing to it in terms of the pricing for the most part. Now, obviously, there's caveats to that, like there always is. But I've heard that sentiment from other TCGs, not counting Pokemon, pretty much across the board. Okay, so I took this at face value. I scrolled down a little bit. People were talking about Pokemon. Obviously, the trophy cards are incredibly sought after, a lot of value. And then this person said it's real and posted a link. So I clicked on the link, and he actually has an air fryer. Right, he's got his Yu-Gi-Oh mat. He's at the official, tournament background here, and he's got an air fryer. And it says, "No way they gave bro a whole ass air fryer for winning a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament." And then below it, it says, "Actually, that's his second one, and he's got another air fryer." And so maybe this is a thing for Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know. I feel like it's got to be fake. Like this is like cropped in or something. It's actually like a binder of like cool cards or promos or something. I don't know, but I laughed. I got a good laugh. Like you go win a card tournament, they're just giving out air fryers is a crazy prize. That is just an insane thing to give out at a TCG tournament. So, who knows? Maybe this. Yeah, I don't know. Get into Yu-Gi-Oh for the air fryers, but I got a really good kick out of that and thought it was hilarious. So apparently this meme is pretty real. You get you compete in Yu-Gi-Oh, you can go get your next air fryer. So and I mean, hey, I have an air fryer, the wife and I, and this is like our third one, so maybe I need to hop over to Yu-Gi-Oh for a little bit, practice up, and try and win a air fryer for our next air fryer. So, just thought that was funny. And in a more serious note, I have heard once again from Magic players, like professional Magic players who were some of the best players out there, traveling, going to competitions, etc. They, for example, said that they had made more playing Lorcana for 6 months than they had for playing Magic for a decade. Now that might mean it's more competitive or whatever, right? There's a lot to unpack there, but it's just as a aside, I think that it's much more profitable for these players who are playing the game and trying to be the best in the world to do it via Lorcana, Pokemon, maybe One Piece, right? I'm not sure how their trophy card and competitive scene is doing. I know the most recent set champs I went to, there was a One Piece tournament there, and it was filled up. So very different crowds between the One Piece and Lorcana community. I think they each have their own place, right? They have their own niche of like just people who are attracted to the games. Very different vibes coming from the two communities in terms of the two player bases that were there. So I love Yu-Gi-Oh. I collected Yu-Gi-Oh. I played Yu-Gi-Oh is probably the TCG that I played the most. Never very seriously, just among friends. But I love Yu-Gi-Oh. It holds a special place in my heart. Some of those vintage Yu-Gi-Oh cards are Chef's Kiss. I'm a big fan. So just thought that was funny. Moving on, we have someone in the Lorcana Collectors Reddit saying, think about just buying the enchanted cards now. Pull rate is essentially non existent. Only enchanted I see pulled are streamers, it seems. But at least the game itself is fun. Pulled all these today, just another 24 packs, not pictured, and nothing. So this gets down to a really, really a core principle that I think is the quicker you can learn this, the better to just improve your TCG experience. Now, look, your opening packs is fun. You need to open packs to build a collection to be able to build decks, right? And so that's a piece of it. I open a case, at least a case, every new set that comes out. I'm not against opening packs whatsoever. But if you are opening packs to pull enchanteds, you really, 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 really need to just find the enchanteds you like and go and buy them. Right now is a great time to buy them as well, especially some of the older sets like First Chapter and Rise of the Floodborn. We are not going to see another huge influx unless we get a reprint of quantities going up. A lot of the quantities are already low, and it's within I think it's within reason to expect these prices to start to go up over time pretty shortly here. And so, with that being said, if you have enchantments that you want, particularly from those first two sets, I would just go out and get them rather than ripping, in this case, a bunch of, a first chapter booster box for right now, market going rate is $350. I mean, unless you pull an Elsa, I guess Tinkerbell, maybe Bell, Maui, like you're probably going to be in the red on that box anyway. The odds in pulling from that box are incredibly low. The odds of pulling those specific enchanteds are even incredibly lower. And so I always recommend just going out and buying the cards that you want. I know that's not as fun. It's not as sexy. But at the end of the day, it is truly the best way to go about building your collection if you want enchanted cards. Now, look, I hope, so many people, it's like everywhere I look, people are saying this now. And so I believe, based on Ravensburger's track record of listening to the community, that we're going to get some sort of different art type within the packs, because it is getting talked about everywhere. Everywhere I go, whether it's in the Discord, the official Reddit, the collectors Reddit, wherever it's at, people are talking about they want more art to pull. And so I think that we're probably going to be getting that. Now, these sets are being orchestrated a long time in advance. So that might be, 3 sets from now, 4 sets from now. I don't know when we're going to get it. If we are going to get it, right? I don't have any proof that we are going to get it. I just believe in them, so I think we will. But having different art variants, like just a full art, kind of art rare in the Pokemon world, something in between a legendary, traditional, or cold foil, and an enchanted, like something maybe in between those two, because 1 in 96 is very hard, right? And for a collector, Lorcana is not as good to open as something like a Pokemon, should you connect with that Pokemon IP and you love the cards and you want to collect them. Pokemon is better for collectors right now. I'm not denying that. I think that Lorcana can get there, and I personally just still would rather open Lorcana for the chance at the enchanted, and then in combination with, once again, it just resonates more with my family right now. But at the end of the day, if you want a card, go out and buy it. Ripping packs to get to the cards you need is just not a good option. It's a great way to enjoy the game. It's a great way to build up your collection and get a wide array of cards. You can build decks. But at the end of the day, you need to be buying the singles that you want, because opening packs to get there is just not going to be financially responsible. And buying the singles that you want is also going to help you it's going to help you withstand the test of time in the hobby a lot longer. Opening packs to get the enjoyment is a very expensive way to do the hobby. Buying the singles that you want, setting defined goals, writing them down, accomplishing them over time, whether that's 3 months, 6 months, a year. I've got some goals with this collection that realistically, we're talking probably 5 years, depending on revenue and things like that. But these things aren't getting done overnight, right? And so I've got a long-term mindset with this and time frame, but I think that helps you just withstand the hobby longer, right? If you're just going out ripping packs 24/7, stopping at every Target you see, stopping at every Walmart you see, just doing everything you can to open as many packs as possible, I think that's a great way to get burnt out. It's a great way to light money on fire, and it's it's a way to enjoy the hobby. But if it's the only way you're getting cards, I just think you're set up for failure there. So, JAZK, I would recommend absolutely going out and buying the enchanteds that you want, particularly right now from the first and second chapter. Those boxes are limited-ish. There's not going to be a huge influx. Some sets like Into the Inklings, Ursula's Return, Shimmering Skies, Azurite Sea are all readily available. There's plenty out there on the market. You'll see those for sale well below $100. Those boxes are much more likely to be opened than a Rise of the Floodborn or the first chapter. And then coincidentally, there's going to be a lot more singles for those on the market. And so we might see those enchanteds either stay flat or even come down in price, much more likely than we will the first and second set. So that is my thought on the buying enchanteds versus opening packs to find those. So there you go. Next thing up, I did want to take a look at the sealed case of the first chapter on TCG Player. We have continued to see some sales here. Lowest on the market is 1,414. So we are closing in on a 1,500 number here. I expect more and more listings are going to continue to come in. You can see on the first page here, we go from 14 to 1,800, and that's with roughly 10 cases on the market. Leads are still readily available, right? There's plenty of leads out there. I think 1,400 is still a fair price, assuming they don't reprint. If they reprint, then this stuff is going right back down. We're talking probably 800 range if we get a reprint. I don't think we will, but I keep mentioning that because it is a possibility. They have not said anywhere that they are not going to reprint this product again. In fact, they've always taken the other side of the other stance of this equation of we're going to print to demand. We're going to make sure players can get their hands on the cards, and we want to make sure that it's readily available. Ravensburger does not like seeing this priceless high. Now, I think they're focused on later sets, and they can incorporate new game pieces that will drive down the player value of these cards. I don't really care for that argument right now. The deck that just won the or the North American Championships cost $140, and there was another deck there in the top 8 that cost $120. Their decks, if you get creative, you grind enough, you guess the metagame, you can play this game for a very reasonable price. Obviously, some of the first chapter cards like Rapunzel are still incredibly valuable. In my opinion, that's not a bad thing. You want some valuable cards coming out of the set. And so the 1,415 number, if they don't reprint, I think it's a fine buy. If they do, it's not. And so that's, once again, if Ravensburger came out right now and said we are never going to reprint the first chapter again, these cases would probably go up to 2,000 within a week, would be my guess. I think that there would be insane price action on this. They just have not made that official announcement, probably for that reason. And we're going to continue to kind of see what happens here. Now, I did want to mention on eBay, our Australian friends have started to sell these boxes for a lot cheaper, even with the shipping. So you can see the lowest on the market right now is 1,120 with $30 of shipping. So that's $1,150 to get one shipped from Australia, assuming that it's sealed. It does look like it might be open there. Let's double check this really quick. Oh, it's open. Wait, is it open? What the heck? It looks like it's sealed down there. So do they just have an extra, flap? Yeah, I think it is sealed, actually. Because you can see the tape there, so I guess it's just... That is such an interesting box. There's no way, right? No, it's open. Okay, I'm an idiot. So it is open. So that would be why that one's a little bit cheaper. This one, however... $1,245 with $60 of shipping, so like $1,300 essentially, is sealed, it looks like, and they have not opened it. So you get a little bit of a discount on this one, obviously from Australia. Buying an open sealed case, I mean, I would probably avoid that, right? That's probably why it's still available. But you can get a sealed version for $1,300 on eBay all in, and that's $115 cheaper than what you can get on TCG Player. So I did want to at least make you guys aware that these are coming from Australia. I don't think that's going to impact our market for much longer, if at all. The lowest buy it now on the market is $1,400 for a sealed case located here in the States, or I assume it is. And then if we look at sold listings for actual sealed cases, let's take a look at one case that's Chinese. A lot of Chinese right now. Disney Lorcana. First chapter factory sealed booster box case. This is all the way back in... Oh, I have it filtered lowest. Let me go to ended recently and see what the market is recently. 1,200 for the second wave. So this is a good... I think that this stuff is starting to... The print wave stuff, I think, is starting... What my vision of it has been forever, starting to come to fruition. A second print wave, that yellow sticker that everyone placed a premium for... sold for $1,200 yesterday, which is well below even just what a normal case is going for. So I think that gap is starting to close, at least for the second print. Looks like we have 1,300, 1,450, 1,500, and then we got some Chinese sales here. So I think we'll be around the $1,100 price point for a while. If you do not have any and you're worried about it not being reprinted, obviously a fine time to buy, in my opinion, assuming you have a long time horizon on it. But that's where we're at for the first chapter. And I wanted to close today's video with a discussion about the promo cards within Lorcana. I feel like there's so many cards that are a great value right now that as Lorcana continues to grow and as collectors specifically continue to enter the space, whether that's through the natural vertical integration of them going to the park, seeing cards, going to a movie, going to Moana, being given a promo, other TCG players like the story we listened to yesterday of a Magic player open a few packs with his daughter and he was instantly hooked, like myself, or people just coming over from maybe Pokemon who can't get a product, right? Because everything is just scalped to the moon over there. As these continue to grow, I'm very interested to see how these promo cards do overall, because I just feel like so many of them are just incredibly affordable, right? And so my the lens that I look at promo cards through is just that these are much more limited than set cards. Even something like the Cinderella that was in the first organized play kit, I think there was double of these cards than there was any other promo. I still feel like this card is incredibly undervalued. It's got 85 listings now. Full transparency, I've mentioned it a million times before. I own hundreds of these cards, and so take what I'm saying here with that bias intact. But I just feel like some of these promo cards are incredibly cheap. Whether it's a Chicha for 52 cents, a Wasabi for 43 cents. Specifically, some of the older ones like the Minnie Mouse for less than $1, the Cinderella that there's one for 60 cents. Now I will say, excuse me, there's only a couple for like under $1, right? You can get 4, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1 for under $1. So there's not that many, and then you're at $1 and you've got 42 available. I think we're gonna see these prices for a while, but I just am very intrigued as people come into Lorcana. They begin to collect more and more. What does the promo card market look like as each of these organized play kits are going to have promos? The promos are going to continue to come out. These ones that are older and older, I think they just have a lot of legs to them, especially when you can get cards for under $1, right? For 60 cents for an iconic IP like a Cinderella that is a cold foil. Sure, it's not that playable in the game. It's not very meta. Should it ever become meta, I think it would just kind of like break the price of the promo card. But I just think overall as a collector, these are a great place, to start your collection, because these are cold foil cards that have unique text box art to them. They were not given out in booster packs. They were specific organized play or event promos, and I just think they've got a lot of room to them. I think this is a great place to start your collection if you are getting into Lorcana. Browsing through these pages and find a couple that you like in terms of characters or art, and picking them up, I think it makes a ton of sense. Obviously, your trophy cards I would put in a different category from just like your organized play stuff, as well as even just your promo cards from like event specific promo cards. Your Mickey Mouse Musketeer, your Goofy Musketeer, your Donald Duck Musketeer. These cards have been a lot higher than this in the past, and they've came down recently due to all the exposure at the DLC events and them being given out. But listings are still incredibly low. 17 for the Mickey Mouse, 11 for the Goofy, 14 for the Musketeer, Spiel S, and Donald Duck. And then you have the Moana movie promo down here at $3. The set champ or the Stitch collector's box. Wow, that's an awesome deal. I'm gonna buy some of those as soon as I stop the video. $6 for that card. That card is gorgeous. My daughter loves that card. It's in her Stitch binder. It's the kind of first card in there. It's got the enchanted foil. I love it. I'm gonna buy some of those. But what I wanted to hit on here is some of these promos are incredibly low pop count as it relates to the PSA reports. You can see, like, I call them the Three Musketeers: Mickey Mouse, Goofy, and Donald. 668 PSA 10s for the Donald, 936 PSA 10s for the Gamescom Goofy, and then 1,364 for the Gen Con 2023 Mickey. Obviously, these cards have a lot of PSA 9 and lower. They're relatively hard to grade across the board, and I think that there's a lot of collectability in these cards, especially with these three all being Musketeers. I would love, one of my short-term goals is a PSA 10 copy of each of these. I think that would be really cool. But then the last thing I want to hit on is some of these cards are just, I think they're a lot rarer than we think. 4 Dozen Eggs has 83 PSA 10s in existence. This card came out in 2013, guys. Pinocchio Talkative Puppet, 83 in existence for a PSA 10. Rapunzel Gifted Artist, 105 in a PSA 10. Gaston Arrogant Hunter, 211 in a PSA 10. Now, sure, there's a lot more of these cards out there than just what we're showing here, obviously. But I think that these cards are just a lot rarer than some of these other, like the D100 stuff, obviously very popular, very common. Some of the organized play cards, very common, like Cinderella, 364 PSA 10s. Bucky, 349 PSA 10s. The first ever banned card. I think that'll have some prominence moving forward. But then also just these Musketeers, like, we're talking about close to 1,000, over 1,000, close to 700. All of these other promos, 400, 300. These cards were made in 2023, and I just don't know if there's that many left over of them. And maybe we'll continue to see that number go up, or we will continue to see that number go up as the PSA 10 value of these cards go up. But $28 for a promo that only has 83 PSA 10s in existence, and it gets a sub 50% gem mint grade. That's, those are opportunities that I want to have moving into the future. And so I just want to bring that to your guys' attention. And I'd also love to hear your guys' thoughts on the promo cards, specifically some of the cheaper ones, some of the just like organized play promos that have been around for a while. Elsa's Ice Palace for 4K. I would not be buying that one right now, but everybody do you. But we have some, 29 cents, obviously a location, kind of whatever. But there's a lot of even just the first chapter or organized play cards on here that are still incredibly cheap. And I think it's a great way to start your collection. So with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the air fryer meme with the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament as much as I did. That's just an insane price to me. Absolutely crazy. With that being said, I am done here. Thank you very much for watching. Go Chiefs this weekend, and I will talk to you guys soon.